Hi, I'm Ruth Hamilton and I'm going to show you how I made a simple tent style card using some Tonic Studios dies and punches and some Bella Rose paper from Trimcraft. So first of all, I've started off with a square white card, and on the front of it I'm going to put another square of patterned paper, just fix it on with some double-sided sticky tape. The card itself measures 14 3/4 centimetres square, so I've made this piece of paper for the front of it 14 1/4 centimetres square, so that there's a little gap all around the outside. Just take the back of the tape off and centre this on the front of the card. Now what I'm going to use is the Tonic Studios die set Mr. and Mrs. But I want to cut the aperture in the front and then have the other piece showing on the inside. So at this stage what I'm going to do then is centre this heart on the front of the card, leaving a little gap at the top because I'm going to put a punched heart border. So I want to just centre this widthwise but leave a little bigger distance at the top. I'll just put that on there, and then we'll hold that in place with some masking tape so that it doesn't move around when I put it through the machine. So there we are. And as usual, the machine's set to just over 4, between 4 and 4.5. So that has given me a plain white heart and a patterned heart and the aperture in the card. So at this stage then, what I'm going to do is make the piece that holds the tent part together at the bottom. So I've taken another piece of card which measures the exact width this way by 8 centimetres this way. And what I'm going to do now then is score that and make the little tent mechanism. So put it in at 4 centimetres, that's the centre of this, and score it along the 4 mark, and then move it over to 1 centimetre each side. So we have 1 centimetre in from each edge, score that along, and then right in the centre as well. So what we're going to do now then is fold that upwards, and then these 2 outside edges like this. And now a piece of double-sided sticky tape along here, and we put that on first before you put the patterned paper on, and the patterned paper then covers that so you won't see it through the aperture in the front of the card. There we are. Just line that up with the bottom of the card so you get it even, and now your card is like this. Now you would take the patterned piece of paper that's cut to size, and then it will fit over this piece, and then you won't see that anymore. So we put the double-sided tape on again here. Put this piece on the back of the card, and then that's the piece you're going to put the die cut on in a minute or two. So there we are, and that shows through. So now I've already used the Love Arch Simplicity punch, and I've punched out a border that's just the exact width of the card. So I'll just attach that to the front of the card now with my double-sided tape again, and that goes up at the top of the card along this top edge. So there we are so far. Now what we want to do is take this white piece that we already had and place the Mr. and Mrs. die without the outer edge. Now the outer edge is still attached here to this pattern piece. And we're going to use this pattern piece because that's going to be the background for this one in a minute or two. So if you use the white heart that was cut from the front of the card, place your Mr. and Mrs. with the cutting edge downwards and centre it onto that, and then hold that in place with some masking tape again. Turn it over and die cut. And now you can take that off. Remove all the loose pieces. And the piece that you're left with now just fits beautifully onto the striped paper, or the floral on the other side, but it stands out more if you put it onto the pattern, the stripe piece here. So some tonic tacky glue, and you really don't need too much of this, so it's just a few dots here and there, enough to hold it around the outside edge and in all the places that you think it might come adrift in the centre. Just don't overdo it, that's the main thing. And just centre that right on top of the heart. There you are. And that's ready to go onto the centre of the card now. So hold the front of the card down. Sorry, I drop a double-sided tape on the back here too. I like to make sure this is very secure on the back, so I usually use some double-sided tape and some tacky glue as well. Just around the outside. Whoops. There you are. So we'll hold the card down flat, set that into the centre, and there you are. And then at this stage you can go ahead and stick the front of the tent card mechanism to the front of the card, inside front of the card. There you are. So that now is perfectly centred, but it also folds flat for postage, sits up, and it won't fall open and just flop down onto the mantelpiece if it's sat up too long. So that's the basic bones of the card, and then now I'm going to cut a lovely little dragonfly. It's a petite delicate dragonfly in one of the petite rococo dies from Tonic. So again, onto some nice white card and run it through the machine. And then just shape the wings slightly with your bone folder so that they're slightly bent, and then down in the centre. And then I would just put the glue on the centre here. Just dab a little of that off, don't need so much. And put that at the top of the card, like so. That's it so far. And then I cut one of these other dies, which is called the acorn swirl. So I'm going to put that on top of some white card as well. that would be nice down in this end. So with, I think I'll just snip a piece of that off and use it on the other side. So just in here. Tiny dots of glue again, just. Put that on there. Just following the edge of the card, and then take this piece and put that on here. And there you are, a nice little tent card.